Hey everyone, I'm Ben Bellac, Beverly Hills super realtor, of course, from Buying Beverly Hills on Netflix, joined by maybe my best friend minus co-host, industry colleague, and the guy with the steepest backswing at Mountain Gate.
You're getting in my head now. I'm Zach Goldsmith.
Oh my.
Speed it up. Sorry. Glitch.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles. We are back. The market is on fire. At least that's what we're hearing from our industry colleagues on the gram.
Well, it's big news, and it's happening around us. CNBC actually is reporting mortgage applications are up almost 30%. Okay, and purchase applications are up 25%. Interest rates have fallen over the last couple of weeks twice, and again yesterday. These things are just being chopped after 6+ months of interest rate hikes that were causing extreme pandemonium. The market has shifted yet again, proving once again, you don't know how to time shit and you shouldn't try. But what does this mean? Seriously, what does this mean now for the market now and for the rest of the year? Not that we know, but we know.
I mean, I think it's a nice sign to see some positive headlines. Many of our close friends and clients, one of them being Dave Gross, a good friend of ours who's about a 7 cap on the golf course.
About a 19 glass on the bar afterwards.
He has been waiting for the market to fall out. And I think that a lot of buyers pulled back after Q3 and Q4 of last year, seeing interest rates continue to go up in quarter and half point increments, thinking that the market was going to crash. And if we were to go back to our market outlook at the end of last year, we predicted about a 10% drop, and yet we're hearing about multiple offer scenarios. We're hearing about mortgage applications and purchase offers going out. So
I'm in 3 multiple offers right now.
Okay. So
3 months ago, you couldn't find a buyer.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing.
Has it been that drastic of a cut? I mean, go ahead. This is your field. It's your world. I'm just your assistant.
Yeah, so if you admit it on air, this is going to be something we're going to replay over and over. And
You just want a coffee, boss?
the truth is
No,
that
you geek out over it. We've talked a lot about
Sure.
it. You have a great perspective on it, and let's share it because it's new territory for all of us.
So I think that we are certainly in the post-holiday surge. Usually after the holiday season, even if you live in a market that is not as seasonal as others like ours, which, the sun's shining almost all year round. We don't have people hunkering down in the winter. It is normal to see applications go up. I don't think that it's necessarily due to the fact that interest rates tick down a little bit. And I think
You don't think so?
No, I don't think all of a sudden because interest rates went down. I think that it's good and headlines are good because they contribute to the compound effect of consumer confidence.
Propaganda.
But I do feel that our prediction of a potential 10% drop is necessarily not out of the question. I'm happy to talk about when I think that is later, but I think it would be really helpful for the people at home to actually hear some of the math.
Yeah, let's get into it. Make it simple and sweet for people like me.
Okay.
So basic trig.
Yeah, okay. So if you were to take a $3 million loan amount, and just so everyone knows what our source is, we went on a Google mortgage calculator. $3 million loan amount.
Why are you giving away our secrets? What are we doing in our heads?
So $3 million loan amount, right?
Yeah.
PI only, meaning principal and interest. So the loan amount, that portion, plus your interest, the fee you pay the bank. Your monthly payment on a $3 million loan amount at 6%, $17,987. At 5%, it goes down to $16,100. $105.
$2,000 difference.
Yeah.
1%.
Yeah, so the delta is $1,882 or a 10% delta, not 1%, 10%.
Not crazy.
The truth is that if you can't afford 18,000, then you can't afford 16,000 either. And that type of delta, sure. Am I disappointed about it as a buyer? Actually, currently in this price range, personally, am I upset about it? A little, but does it also excite me that potentially I could go after a home that's been on the market for 90 days with a seller who thinks it's 2021, who's been asking a massive number, their husband, wife, spouse, agent's been beating them up, saying they're priced too high and the market's falling out, and then make an offer that's 12% below the asking price. 12%, let's just call it 10% for easy math, of a $3 million house discounted, that's $300,000. I'm more excited about that than I am upset about this 10% delta on my mortgage payment that I'm only going to be paying for 7 to 10 years before I move and realize that appreciation.
I think it's important also for people to understand the difference in how much the interest rates vary versus what you're going to be paying per month. So you did a 6 to a 5, right?
Yeah.
Let's do a 6 to a 3, cut it in half. So now the interest rates are, let's just say 6. We'll round up or down. They're 6. And 6 months ago, a year ago, they were 3.
Yeah.
Right. So that doesn't necessarily mean that your mortgage payment, your monthly payment is doubling. It doesn't mean that. Obviously, if it is interest only, it's going to double. If you are paying down your principal, like you're talking about PI,
Principal and interest.
Your payment's going to go from probably 16. I think the number's like down to 12.
Yeah, that's
at 3%.
Yeah.
That it's not down to half of 16.
Yeah,
that's a quarter.
Yeah,
is that a quarter?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So if at 6% on a $3 million loan amount, it's $17,987. At 3%, it's $12,648. So yes, it is a big move, but we know that people are buying homes and selling homes because of life change majoritively, and these numbers aren't enough to crash our market. Sure, an adjustment potentially, but not enough to take someone out of the market. And frankly, I've been shopping as a home buyer for the last 2.5 years in the same price range, and the variable nature of interest rates has not taken me out of the market. Sure, do I want to feel like I'm getting a value right now? Yes. Do I want to take someone's head off? No, I don't expect to. Why? Because we still generally have very low inventory. Why? People are locked into historically low interest rates. Over 60% of homeowners in the U.S. have a 3% interest rate or better. They're not going to be so quick to buy a house at a 6% interest rate, so they stay. Also, 38% of our market home buyers are millennials who have put off their life changes, particularly buying a home because of the 2008 financial crisis. They are in the market. They are tired of waiting. So as much as there is speculation, and I have a slightly different outlook about where we're headed, but as much as there is speculation, I do think that the inventory index, meaning the available inventory, is kind of where the market health begins and ends. If we have low supply and high demand, our market's healthy.
100%. I think low inventory and the still low interest rates are the driving forces if you're a buyer. And if you're a seller, you take advantage of the low inventory. I think that is the driving force, is what product is out there, supply and demand. So if you're a seller, get yourself an extended lease back and level the fuck up.
So what do you do in a market like this? Like, what do you do?
Well,
yeah, like if you're a, like, what's your take? If you're a seller,
I think that
what do you
was
tell
my
a seller?
take.
Oh, okay. So just to
If you're a buyer, low inventory, you want to buy something, take advantage of a rate in the fives. Move your money around to another bank that will give you an even lower rate. If you put more money in the bank, you'll get lower monthly payments. Take advantage of something in the fives. That's historic still. And inventory is so low that you've got to jump on what you find and you've got to lock it down. If you have staying power, what are you worried about? Buy a property that will withstand a market drop, that you can stay in, that you can rent out if property markets drop and you have to leave. Keep that as an investment. As a buyer, jump on these things when you see them. They don't come around every day, right? The right property. You've been hunting for a property, and I think you're in the middle of negotiations, or maybe you got it.
No, I lost
probably.
it. I actually didn't get it.
You didn't get it.
No, and I had a great way to kind of make it work. And frankly, the truth is I got beat out on terms, but also that I hate to say it, but the agent did such a terrible job on the listing side. Terrible job.
So I went to the listing with you. I'm
That's
sorry
true.
that was such a big time agent that you're going to have to deal with every day now.
He's not a big time agent.
Then what are you worried about? You're freaking out. Did you really lose it?
Yes.
In multiples.
Well, basically what happened is we went to go see it.
Are you upset about this?
I am upset.
You like that house?
I did. It was like the first house that I've actually really liked in 2.5 years. I mean, my ex-girlfriend really pushed me towards another.
God rest this. She's not dead.
She, not yet. She really pushed me towards another house that I almost bought that is now listed for way less and gettable for way less than what I submitted then. So,
Oh, that's the house I told you not to buy.
I actually like that house, but it has some issues with square footage and a master closet that can't be solved easily. But
That house is not solvable. That's a pass. That's a good example of supply and demand, why some houses sit on the market and some houses sell. That's a house that sits. You come to me. I tell you what to do.
thank God. Well, I wish you were
told
my
you to
age
buy
at the
this
time.
house. And so what happened? Did you not pay the price?
Yeah, so basically, Zach and I went to go see this house on a Monday. We did that. I'm sorry, I called the agent and said, "What's the plan?" They said, "There's no plan." Maybe you should tell them what I meant by like, "What's the plan?" Like, he doesn't know. So I wanted to know, like, is there an offer deadline? Why? Because in the last 2 years, we would always call the agent and ask if there was a plan because we didn't want our clients submitting early.
He had no structure, from what I recall.
Yeah, but our market conditions were such previously that we didn't want to create a market around the house because other people, they would engage like a fear of loss and they would maybe submit, and then there's all these multiples and it gets too crazy. So anyway, he encourages me to submit and write this long letter on pricing, and then 2 days later he says we're waiting till Sunday after he said there was no plan, which is really discouraging to any buyer because it's an emotional process and also a little unprofessional and inconsiderate to one of your industry colleagues.
Did you give a deadline?
Yeah, I said, hey, I want you to expose the house. The normal days on market around here is like 14 days. So you've been on since Friday. Take another 3 days from Monday or whatever, and give me a counter. And I would have come up. But then he says to me, we're not looking at offers until Sunday, and that was 6 days after my offer, 9 days after they had come on. And I was like, that's why I was asking if there was a plan. So I was really bummed by that. Then a few cash offers came in fast forward. There were several times where he's like, I will call you no matter what this afternoon. He never did. He asked me if I would take backup. I said, absolutely, I can come up. He was being super cryptic. I said, look, the listing agreement allows you to share the numbers of competing prices. I'll come up. Let me make you and the seller more money. It was amateur hour, which was super disappointing. But I guess the positive is that that's who I'm in competition with to get listings, and that's just not how we roll.
Well, as a buyer, was it a product of simply not offering enough money? Is there something you could have done differently? What was included in your package? What was your approach? Did you meet with the seller directly? Did you try and get in front of him? Did you try and get in front of the agent? Was it just kind of like a press send and deliver kind of thing?
The thing is, I did come under the asking price. initially I came under the asking price, but
Which seemed a little high for the area, right?
I
For the-
know it
yeah.
really was, but I gave context. I wrote a report and I just said this is not without enthusiasm or excitement, but I looked for data that justified your number because I wanted to feel okay with my nest egg. Please understand, I built my nest egg through sweat and hustle, and I'm just careful with it. So here's my reasoning. They said they were very appreciative of that of that note. But in
Knowing you, that note came in the form of a video presentation starring yourself.
I did.
You probably did.
I did do that.
You did. You did.
I sent a
Oh
video
my
in
God.
counters when I knew I was behind.
What were you wearing is the question.
Here, I'll show you the video. How about that?
Tell me you were wearing one of these jackets. You look like a ventriloquist show in Vegas. You look like you've got your own ventriloquist show in Vegas. We're starring the Sahara,
All right.
Ben Bellick and his dummy. Or is it the dummy and Ben Bellick?
Look, this is what I was wearing.
Oh my God.
All right, so
play
I'll play this.
video.
I'm going to play it, and then look, what we'll do is we'll put it up on the screen for all of you guys so you can see Zach's reactions live.
Right. Just play the screen and watch my reactions.
Yeah, okay, that's what we'll do.
Hey everyone, Derek, Andrew, and team, it's Ben Belak. I just wanted to drop you guys a personal note to say I want this house. It is perfect for me in so many ways, and I have been seriously looking for a house for, I'm not kidding, 2.5 years. So as far as my preliminary valuation goes, obviously, I was wrong, and I'm sorry for that. It is not a
It was so heartfelt.
reflection of my enthusiasm.
Great
And
Enthusiasm.
I really do hope that I get to call Glenridge my home for the next decade. You guys absolutely crushed it with the renovation. I love everything. And
Oh
look, if
my
you don't
God.
have a
Overzealous,
certificate of
anyone?
occupancy in place yet, do you really care about a few extra days for the buyer? I am the buyer. I will close. And while I don't have a rich family to hand me $3.5 million here, this is my nest egg. I
so
made
you don't
it
have enough money to
sweating
afford the house
through cold
after.
calls and
Help me,
going
I'm
door
poor.
to door
Costs.
over the last 11 years. So I'm careful with it. And in that vein, this house makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Wish
So
you'd make me feel
I have
warm and
waived
fuzzy.
my loan contingency. I've come up to 3.3, and I got approval from the agency to reduce our compensation by $60,000. So that's an effective 3.36. You'll have a little bit of a lower tax basis.
Oh my God.
And closing costs, they're all calculated around the official purchase price. So I really hope this is enough, and thanks for considering me.
That was really fucking cute. I mean, you look like you're going to a Palm Springs pool party in that tight tee.
So what? I look great.
in my tight tee.
I look great.
In my tight tee. I mean, it was long. I think I would have had a trailer. Maybe you could have cut a trailer
Okay,
for
hold on.
that
I wanna
instead.
talk about
but
this
I
for a second while
I will say, it's a nice note. It's a nice format because I think you're one of the only few in the world who probably send a selfie of themselves. Aside from Paris Hilton, I'll be coming into the store Wednesday. It was sweet. It's long. It was nice. It was affectionate. You covered a lot of angles, and it was like an audition tape for The Bachelor.
So, guys, just so you know what my strategy there was A, I had written an evaluation that ended up being wrong based on what the market was doing. 2,
Honesty.
there were cash offers, and I wanted to, like we do with staging for sellers, I wanted to tug on the heartstrings of the sellers like we tug on the heartstrings of buyers with stagers. I wanted them to know that even though there was a cash buyer, which inherently is less risk, that I was willing to waive my cancellation right as it related to my loan, and that I was coming up as much as I possibly could, and that while I didn't have a rich zaddy to give me $3.5 million cash to get a house, that I was willing to give as much as I possibly could, as much as the company would let me contribute from my livelihood compensation, and also that I would close and that I could see myself there. I was hopeful that they would that they would feel emotional about passing the baton of stewardship of this home to me. They were not. and I'm super bummed.
Sorry, I'm laughing at you.
You're not my friend.
I'm sorry. This whole thing, I smell a major motion picture.
The truth is that buying a home is a process of elimination, and I understand that. I know what my must-haves are. I've opened up the geographic net of where I would live, and the truth is like I really, really like this place. And when you work really hard, as we do, on all crazy hours and do all the things we do, sometimes where we don't even get paid or we lose a listing, you want to at least, even though it's a process of elimination, feel like it's a step up. And I have felt so many homes that I went to like, oh yeah, this is going to cost all my savings. Plus I'm going to have to conjure up $500,000 over time to make it better. And like, this was the first one where I was like, yes, this is toothbrush ready. I'm just going to add some toys. My mom can crash in the guest house. Like, it was perfect. And I think
the house that got away. It's fine. There'll be others, baby. You're really, it's a sad story. I know how upset you are over it. It sort of reminds me of it's sad. First question is, did you lose this to an all cash buyer?
Yeah. Moving forward, I lost on terms and price. But
Right. So does the all cash buyer exist again? And is that what is coming back to take over the market?
no, but there's always going to be cash buyers when two things. One, when there are higher interest rates, people that have the cash are going to use it. And two, there are people that have great relationships with banks like JP Morgan, et cetera, who they have millions of dollars with them in a diversified portfolio in retirement where they go, hey, you have your trust with us. We're going to give you a ridiculous, impossible loan that no one else gets with your trust as the collateral. So there's no problem with the loan. Just waive your loan and appraisal contingency. And then it seems like cash, where maybe they're still putting first deed of trust on the property. So something cannot be cash, but also appear as cash on an offer. And I think that's probably what happened in this case. Because most people in this asset class are not buying all cash. There's usually a wealthy parent involved. And to all those wealthy parents, I am currently available for adoption. I bring a lot to the table. I know a lot about wine. I can advise you on your real estate offerings. I've got some fancy blazers. Zach does come over from time to time. You may hear my voice raise in frustration as the ADHD sets in. But other than that, I could be a great son to you. So with that,
Are you looking for wealthy parents or a wealthy just single mother?
parents, just parents.
Would you do that, the single mother idea?
Yeah.
Wealthy.
Just
Poor.
my mom was a single mom. I've got nothing against single moms.
We're getting emotional again. I'm sorry about the house.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry you lost the house. You seem very upset about this.
I'm bummed.
And I feel I'm not being empathetic, but my therapist tells me to do things like this, a little touch on the knee, the touch on the shoulder.
You said it reminded you of a story.
Well, it's I know you feel super bummed and it feels like you lost a loved one. It just I get a lot of clients who will get super bummed after something like this, and we all take a hit, right? Mm-hmm. I always think, and I try and teach my kids this when they're super pissed about something that feels irrelevant to us, but obviously is a big deal to them. It reminds me of that old Chinese parable about the Chinese farmer and the horse.
Don't know this.
No.
Bring it on.
It's fantastic. So my kids fell asleep after 30 seconds, but actually they ran out the room punching me. But I feel like you could do the same. It's really a beautiful, quick story about a Chinese farmer who has got this prized horse, and the horse earns his living for him. Okay. One day, the horse runs away. The neighbors see, the neighbors come out. They're like, "Oh, mister, I'm so sorry about your horse. I feel terrible. You are so unlucky. Your horse ran away." And the Chinese farmer says, "Maybe so, maybe not."
Okay.
The neighbors are confused. 2 days later, the horse returns. Not only does he return, he brings 2 other horses with him.
Oh.
Gold, right? Neighbors come out, they see this. "Oh my God, Mr. Wang, we are so honored to excited to report your horses have come back. You must be so excited. This is such great news for you. You have great luck." And the Chinese farmer responds, "Maybe so, maybe not."
Okay.
how could you not have great luck? Look what just happened to you. The farmer continues to believe this. The next week, his son is out there taming the horses. The horse throws him off, breaks his back.
No.
The neighbors see the broken back.
kind of story
they come
is
to
this?
help him, and they say, Mr. Wang, I am so sorry about your son. What terrible luck he broke his back. To which he replies,
Oh my God, this guy's got no feelings.
maybe so, maybe not.
Okay.
When it's a little more Japan, I think. This
Sure,
is
yeah,
Chinese,
yeah,
but
okay, it's
Anywhere
close
in
enough.
the world, this
Yeah, can be just a
works in.
farmer.
He's a farmer. So the son's laying in bed. The neighbors feel terrible. The guy seems to be indifferent. Mm-hmm. The next week, the emperor's army shows up at the door. They've gone through the village and taken all able-bodied men to war. Now, back then, war meant
Death.
certain death. The neighbors come out. You are so lucky.
Oh, because of the leg.
You are so fortunate he had a broken leg. They couldn't take him. And it spared his life. And of course, he replies, maybe so, maybe not.
Oh my gosh.
And so it goes on and on like this. But look at his outlook. It's one of indifference. It's one of manifestation of, look, we can't control everything, right? So something bad happens. I very often find something better is around the corner. There's a great, I'll just end with this. There's a great Masters clip of Tiger Woods. He is on the 16th. You know the story, I think. He's on the 16th fairway. He's hit a great drive. He's down 2 strokes. He's got to nail the green here. He hits it off the edge of the green into the rough. What bad luck. He had a chance to be on the green. What happens next? He takes his time, reads it. He hits a chip onto the top of the green that trickles down towards the hole. The crowd starts to erupt, and then it stops.
it stops on the edge.
It stops on the edge with the Nike symbol facing the camera on a close-up. Everyone's like, oh, and all of a sudden,
It falls
one more
in.
roll.
It
Tiger,
falls
oh
in.
my God. And life has just gotten incredible for him. He wins the Masters.
Instead of him wigging out and going into a hole because he missed the green on that last
Correct.
shot.
You just have to ride the punches. I think for you, it's a different
Ride
story.
the punches or roll with them? I just want to.
Ride the punches.
Okay.
It's a ride at Disneyland that just installed.
Oh, okay.
Based on a new movie. It's my English is mixed up.
Okay.
What am I, minced meat? Roll with the punches.
Roll with the
I
punches.
think in your case, it's a little different. I don't think you'll find another house. I think that was the one that got away. But overall, that is the theory
Okay.
that I like to live
So
by.
5 second
I have a
funeral.
more positive outlook. Yeah, that's very grim, that 5 second funeral. All right, he was a good person, great guy. All right, and they died late, did everything. Bye. That's
Okay.
your 5 second funeral?
No. It's obviously not that short, but I get what you're saying is to not
You get to
be.
eat a nosh afterwards at least.
You don't want to be so attached to an outcome or things the way they are because change is certain. And oftentimes things don't work out the way we had planned at home, at work. And oftentimes, if we keep showing up, we keep looking, we keep searching, things seem to find their way into our lives. So, Zach, thank you for that wonderful story and your friendship. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles. I'm at Ben Bellac. This is at Zach Goldsmith 24.
By the way, I smell a major motion picture from this interest rate episode. And maybe we team up with your video that you produced and have a whole movie trailer about the craziness. In a world where interest rates rise out of control, one team take to defy the odds and represent only buyers with all cash. This summer, Ben Bellac is Super Realtor. Super lame? I don't know. We can work that in somewhere, but let's go shoot a movie. It's been a great episode. I think we learned a lot. You learned that you got to be aggressive again right now, and there's opportunity to buy. Jump on it, and if you're a seller, you get up and live your life and move on.
You're so attached to these episodes that like we'll find an opportunity to go out and then like you latch back onto them. Buddy, have the 5 second funeral.
I'll just
it came,
cut this one myself. Okay, fine.
It came, it went. And guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles. I'm at Ben Bellac. This is at Zach Goldsmith 24, and we will see you next week.
Is that how we're going to introduce ourselves from now on?